Like a lot of people this year, I decided to start a YouTube channel. While it's been difficult, I can say that I really truly love making content. And back in March, when I just started my YouTube channel, I was thinking of a larger project that I wanted to work on where I reviewed 100 YouTube channels, like small creators and things like that. So I went to Reddit, I put a post up, and I got around 150 submissions of small YouTubers wanting feedback for their content. And I thought I could use this as a sort of learning opportunity for myself about the do's and don'ts, and to sort of square my content up against other people. Hopefully take some things away, as well as provide some, meaningful feedback from one creator to another. That being said, I got to around 55 reviews, spending around an hour or two each on each one, before I realized that I was sinking so much time into reviewing channels and helping people with their stuff. My own content took a back seat, so that project was shelved. The other day I was thinking, what am I going to make a video about today? I was having a bit of a brain blank, and I thought, I wonder where those channels are at now. So I pulled up my spreadsheet. Some of the things that I found were, pretty awesome. A lot of the stuff that I found was pretty disheartening, actually. So today I just wanted to share what I found, who kept going, who disappeared, and what lessons we can learn from it as small content creators. Or perhaps you haven't even started a channel yet, or you want to start a business or whatever. Or maybe you're really deep into making content and just feeling like in a bit of a downer at the moment. So anyway, let's just jump right into it. So going through all the 55 channels I reviewed, one by one, I checked on them and to see if they were still posting, how frequent they were posting, if I could even consider their content or upload schedule frequent enough to consider them active. Have they grown in size? Whether any of these people took on any of the feedback that I had given them. What I found was pretty shocking. Most of the creators that I reviewed at the time are no longer even making content, or their channels just don't even exist anymore, meaning that they may have deleted them but they aren't anywhere to be found. Out of the 55 channels that I reviewed at the time back in March, 37 or 67% just are nowhere to be seen, or their last upload was months ago. On the flip side of that, around 18 channels, just 33%, are still creating content today or posting frequent enough that you could consider them active. And honestly, the number was a bit larger than I expected, admittingly. A lot of the time you hear in stats on YouTube videos and large creators saying 9 out of 10 content creators quit within the first year. And while it hasn't been a year, I was expecting that number to be way lower of active creators. So that was kind of cool to see, I suppose. And I create content too. I know how hard it is, when you're feeling down or you got stuff going on in your personal life where, you don't have the energy to make a video or sit down and record. You just have to keep going. It's really challenging, and I think it's something that I knew would happen when I wasn't, when I was thinking about creating content, but I didn't know to what extent, how challenging that would be. So following that, I took a deeper look at the amount of growth compared to people who are very frequently uploading and working on their content constantly versus people that are maybe a bit more infrequent. And as you can guess, the difference was pretty massive. The creators who stayed consistent grew their channels on average of around 66%, many of them even doubling or tripling their subscriber counts. But the ones who quit, they grew on average just around 14%. So that's already a difference of 4 or 5 times just by being consistent, trying new things. And I think a lot of people might hear this message and think, oh, okay, so I just got to upload more. I just got to push more content out there. Yes and no. A lot of the people that grew substantially really improved their content on like a more fundamental level. There were content creators in this list that are uploading super frequently, and one might argue almost too frequently, that haven't really grown at all. And I've watched some of their videos and even heard them express their dissatisfaction or their frustrations with the slow grinding halt of their channel. And I mean, I've even talked about it a little bit as well with my channel. But again, I haven't been super consistent with my upload schedule. So there's lessons to be learned there. While I was going through these channels, I noticed something that the stats won't tell you by themselves. Most of the creators that I was reviewing They actually made some pretty good content, if I'm being honest. It was pretty infrequent for me to find a channel that I just thought was just not good, the quality of their content being subpar or whatever. Most people actually had a good idea, they had a good niche, but when it came to the content, they just stopped making content altogether. So I guess the question is, why? The content wasn't bad, they just stopped. And I guess from my experience, it's because YouTube is just super exhausting. It's an ideas game, as you've probably heard other content creators or other creatives talk about before, where if you don't know what you're doing or you don't have any ideas or you don't plan things out, it can be quite mentally exhausting. And on top of that, you can put a lot of effort into videos when you're just starting creating content and you don't really know what direction you want to take it. Just for a video to get like 12 views, or in my case, in my past uploads, they haven't really broken a particular threshold. And that can be really disheartening, especially when you really are passionate about the content that you make. You might also find that your niche might be quite saturated or whatever, and I would say that the niche that I make videos in, it can be a little bit saturated, but and other forms of content might be really editing heavy. You might have to do heaps of quick cuts and heaps of super engaging things and learning new skills, and it can turn a really simple video into a 20-hour job. And then again, like I said, you do all this work just for it to receive 20, 30 views. It can be a lot, and it can feel impossible to keep up, just super exhausting. Like I said, their content wasn't bad at all. In fact, sometimes I was quite blown away. You could tell that they spent hours and hours on this, writing scripts, finding B-roll, doing voiceovers, making jokes, making funny edits, whatever the case might be. Yeah, I think generally speaking, a lot of these people just really got exhausted. So I guess just to sort of provide a takeaway from that lesson is that it's not about finding the perfect niche or finding the best YouTube idea. You actually have to enjoy making content. Can you get through it when it's not really netting you any results? Or what if something happens in your personal life, takes you away from making videos or takes you to a negative headspace? Are you going to be able to stick it out? I think the ones who stayed and performed really well weren't even in better niches, or they didn't have a better idea than other people. They just seem to enjoy what they do a lot more, and maybe had a bit more of a work ethic around making videos and saw a bigger picture. They had something they could deep dive into because they loved it and they were interested in it, rather than, just going into a trend or doing something that you're not really that fond of. They kept experimenting as well, which is another big thing, and they found ways to have fun with it even when things weren't fun, so they made the process enjoyable even when the numbers were low. Now look, I can sit here all day and theorize, why certain YouTube channels blow up, or what are the top 5 things you need to do in order to avoid burnout, or whatever the case might be. I wanted to talk to other people that really knocked it out of the park, and there were 2 channels that I actually reviewed at the time that are just doing so well. So I asked them what was the difference for them and how did they stay motivated when the numbers were low. The first one is a video gaming channel. His name is Gaburu, or also known as Orange Frog Guy.
This is ominous. Oh! Oh no! Oh, all right.
And then there's the second channel, which is WrestleFun, which is like a wrestle documentary style, channel that's really exploded since I first reviewed the channel, who went from 4,500 subs all the way to 18.5 in the past 6 to 8 months. So doing super well. So starting off with Nick, being that he's from overseas and he's got a bit of a accent according to himself, I asked him, tell me what you think and I'll read it out for you. So this is what he said. I asked him, what do you think that you've done differently considering your growth, and what would be your takeaway and main lesson that you've learned from making content? And he said, when I first started in September last year, I was uploading about 3 short videos a week with some shorts sprinkled in between. These videos were quick, 5-minute news style pieces that didn't go very deep and were very surface level coverage of the topic. I had some moderate success, especially for a new creator. A few of my shorts did really well, one even hit 100k views, but the success didn't really translate to my long form videos. People still weren't watching his long form content, even with the success that he had on his shorts, which is quite common for a lot of content creators. That's when I realized I needed to change things up. I stopped making shorts and shifted to one well-researched longer video per week. I focused on writing in-depth scripts and producing high-quality documentary-style videos. My first 10-minute video did about 4k views, which was a massive improvement at the time. Then I leaned into something I'd always loved, video essays and documentaries, and made a 12 to 13-minute video that blended mythological storytelling with wrestling, and that video blew up and got 94,000 views, and it even was single-handedly the video that got his channel monetized. From there, I doubled down on that style and I made even longer, more detailed documentaries, and about 5 of them across the 100k views each. That shift in format has helped me grow from 4.5k subscribers to over 18k in the past few months that we've been talking. So hearing that from Nick and his story really drove home for me that growth doesn't happen by chance. You've got to be consistent, for one, which he was. You've also got to love what you do, because I think people can tell. You know, if you don't love making the content that you make, people will not really love it either, probably. He really pivoted as well. You know, he was doing something that he didn't really feel like was working. He didn't really feel like it was going deep enough into the topic. And he said, you know what? I don't like it. I'm going to change it. And he doubled down when it worked well, and it really paid off for him in the long run. So yeah, shout out to Nick, man. Even when I watched your content for the first time, you know, months and months ago in March, I was so blown away. And even now, I'm still super blown away at, you know, how much you've grown. And I think, you know, a lot of small content creators out there, including myself, really take inspiration from someone like yourself. So super cool. If you want to view his content, if you like wrestling, check it out down below. I'm going to put it in the description of this video. But there was another content creator as well who I love to bits as well, as much as Nick. Luckily I could, you know, get him in his studio and hear from himself. Super cool dude, makes gaming content, is called Gaburu, known as the orange frog guy. You may have seen him on shorts. He's been doing real well. I personally love his content. Super funny dude from France. But I asked him, you know, what sort of separated his channel from the rest, and, you know, why he's seen so much growth. And to give you some context, he was a channel that, you know, is well and truly 5x his viewer count. He was someone that I think was quite similar to me initially with the slow growing stages of his channel, making videos that weren't getting views. At the time of reviewing, his channel had 47 subscribers, and he's now crossed over to around 350 plus. So super cool. But I got him for a moment in his exclusive studio. So here is his responses to my questions about, you know, what made him stand out.
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time? What made the most positive change on my channel, but not only on the channel, but also on my mental health is the word I'm looking for. Focusing on one thing, which was the streaming part, and also doing things I like and not doing things because of trends or because of anything else. Really focusing on that thing and having fun. I think having fun is the most important part. And try not to look at numbers too much, I think, but that's I mean, you do what you have to do, I guess. Oh, the cat is meowing. Do you hear the cat? Okay, hold on. Damn it. What? So what basically that's a good question. I'm not sure actually. To be frank, when I started this out, it was like kind of a just do it kind of thing. I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, by the way. I think what surprised me the most and what I liked the most about what I was trying to do, because I tried long form, I tried shorts, and I tried streaming all at the same time. I think the immediate feedback I got from streaming was what pleased me the most. That was the biggest dopamine rush I got usually when posting stuff. The thought of someone watching you and enjoying your stuff, even for just a few seconds, is like, it's wild to me. And that's, yeah, I think that's what I wanted to pursue the most. What surprised me the most was the community aspect. It was so engaging and so amazing. And I think that's, I just wanted to pursue in that and trying to build something out of it. Yeah, just having fun. And the people is what kept me going mostly, I think. What was the question again?
So there you have it. Gaburu, you're the GOAT, bro. Super cool dude. If you want to watch his streams, he's super funny. I love his content. Big fan, Gaburu, so keep doing your thing. Yeah, reviewing these channels was a bit of a mix of emotions, really, to be honest. It was really cool to see them at the time being so engaged and, you know, in my initial talks with them and seeing how much stuff they wanted to improve and things like that. But it was also quite sad to see them, when I came back, to see that they were no longer making content. And, you know, they're just quiet and their channels are just dead. So for people out there that are making content and are, you know, feeling a bit low and they're uncertain about what they're doing, I guess you can take away something here today from Nick and Gaburu. Trying new things, you know, experimenting. If something's not working or you're not loving it, maybe revisit what it is that you're actually doing and remember why you got into making content in the first place. I know that me making my own content, I've had heaps of challenges as well where I don't really know what I'm up to and I don't know what I'm doing, but I always remember, like, I just really love making content, trying new things. And I think over time, I have seen growth and I have seen the fruits of my labor rewarded with, you know, positive feedback and all sorts of different stuff. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say, you know what I mean? So, like, I think at the end of the day, if you're feeling stuck, if you don't know what you're doing, if you want to make a YouTube channel or whatever, just do it. Always do what you love. Don't give up on your dream either. Don't be like one of those channels that could have grown, that made awesome content, but just maybe got a bit burnt out or got a bit frustrated or didn't get the results they were expecting. We get frustrated too, but we do it because we love it. And I think that is just the most important thing. And you shouldn't let anyone or anything take that away from you, and especially yourself. Don't fall into that trap. Anyway, that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys want to see more people come on the videos and have a chin wag or whatever, have a yarn, I'd love to have more people on. If you like this format or whatever, or if you have any feedback for me, or if you want to give me a positive, you know, don't give up, then please do. But look, at the end of the day, I'm so thankful for all the support. Keep on hustling, you know, keep on working, keep doing your thing, keep doing what you love, don't give up on your dream. That's all from me today. I will see you guys in the next one. Look after yourself and God bless. Ciao, ciao.